New legislation has just been introduced that could potentially hurt Polymarket, Kalshi, and all of the prediction market as a whole here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Congress introducing this new legislation that could have a severe impact on the prediction markets that have been taking off ever since the end of last year. So if you're excited for today's video, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, turn on those bell notifications for all future uploads. Now, this right here is going to be a very interesting video for me because I will be giving you my 2 cents here, because it's interesting how the Congress is looking at pushing away the prediction market and how they're using it to get around sports gambling and stuff like that, and state laws and stuff. But at the same time, we all know Congress, insider trading, all that kind of stuff has been on for so long, and there's been, legislation introduced, but nothing has come of it at the moment in time. So it's very interesting that it seems like they're making a big push for prediction markets more than Congress being able to trade stocks and the disclosures that go behind it. So a group of congressional Democrats on Thursday introduced legislation that would ban prediction market bets on elections, government actions, war, and sports as scrutiny on the popular platforms intensifies. And here's the senators that are looking at it here in terms of what's going on here. So basically talking about the idea of people putting bets on world events, including the ousting of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and the war in Iran, raising questions about prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket. And we're going to talk about this because it's actually really interesting that we talk about how you could bet on the war in Iran and stuff like that. And you're going to see this. This is very interesting, so make sure you're watching because we have a lot of things that kind of just spark, my way my mind works, right? It's very, very interesting how this works. When anyone can use prediction market to make a well-timed bet on Congress passing a bill, government decisions, or a military strike, it's ripe for corruption and erodes public trust. Very interesting that somebody, in Congress, I believe, what is it, Merkley? Yep, in Congress, look at that, from Oregon. Corruption and erodes public trust. The Stop Corrupt Bets Act restores the original intent of prediction markets and prevents these markets from further eroding our democratic institutions and turning them into a casino. The bill, which would impose broader limitations on the markets than most other legislative measures, is the latest in a flurry of proposals to rein in prediction markets, which have exploded in popularity of late and allow users to place bets on a variety of events. And again, I made a video about, Mr. Beast having an insider trader. That was crazy stuff. You could bet on CCTV footage, which is crazy as well. Like the prediction market, the gambling as a whole has just gone through the roof. I feel like everybody I watch on social media, not Fridge Financials, of course, has a sponsorship with some sort of online casino with the crypto and stuff like that. Don't worry, I don't do those kind of things there. But just crazy that it's been such a huge push that we've seen here. So we have other, congressmen who have teamed up on a measure to ban sports prediction market contracts, which they argue is tantamount to gambling and goes virtually unregulated. And this is a big thing right here with sports contracts, because if you did not know this already, sports betting is not legal in all 50 states. If you take a look at the gaming map here, I did pull this up here to kind of fact check it here a little bit, because obviously we got to fact check what's going on here and just kind of give you the perspective here. Sports betting is legal in 40 states and not legal in 11. Okay, so keep that in mind. 40 states is legal, 11 states it is not legal. Okay, prediction markets, though, you are able to use in all of these states, every single one, without having any issues. Because it's not betting in a casino, you're going person versus person, and it's futures, and it's more futures contracts that you could trade just like a stock that you can, like futures contracts you trade in the stock market. You could trade futures contracts for sports betting, and that's kind of their way around getting around this idea, which, again, is kind of what their point is. And I get it. It's a good point. I don't get why that's the case where you sit there and you say, hey, you say that we can't sports bet, in Texas, but I can prediction market, one person I could bet yes or no on the Houston Astros to win the game tonight or whatever the case is. So you're sports betting, but it's futures prediction contracts, which is a whole different thing, and that's kind of what they're talking about here. So the valid argument. I completely agree with that. It makes sense. Kalshi criticized Schiff and Curtis' proposal in a statement, saying it's clear this bill is motivated by casino interests that are threatened by competition. They're more worried about protecting their monopolies than protecting their consumers. Basically saying, like, casinos are getting worried now because we're taking a lot of their money and we're making more money because we're legal in all 50 states because we're futures contracts, and now they want to shut us down. Okay. A bipartisan House... Didn't mean to do that. A bipartisan House group on Wednesday introduced legislation barring members of Congress, the president, and other executive branch officials from trading in certain prediction markets, which 100% should have been a thing from day one, because, God, that is the definition of insider trading right there. If you were to bet on, an invasion of the war in Iran and stuff like that, like, and you're inside on this, like, you make a crap ton of money. Like, it's wild. They also introduced a proposal that would similarly block elected officials from getting rich off prediction markets. Okay, it's like, all right, yeah, good job. Let's crack down on that a little bit. As lawmakers turn up the heat, Kalshi and Polymarket both announced new insider trading protections on their platform this week. Kalshi says they do not allow markets related to war or death, which is good. They didn't have a response for. In addition to an outright prohibition on specific prediction market activity, Merkley, Warren, and Raskin's latest proposal would clarify that these markets are against the intent of federal law that regulates contract trading and return the power of regulating gambling to the states, which makes sense. Hey, just like we said, if you can't sports bet in Texas, now you can, just getting around the law by doing futures contracts, which is just the wildest, unregulated thing that we're looking at here. And that's why you see these big moves in Kalshi and Polymarket. Robin has got prediction markets. DraftKings wants to bring prediction markets and stuff like that. And this kind of news here actually pushed up all the sports betting stocks higher. DraftKings was up higher after the news. I forgot which one owns FanDuel, but that stock was up to the roof. I think, MGM or something like that. Like, they were up, 5-6% because of this could, bring money back to casinos because you're shutting this down in terms of having more tighter regulations and restrictions. Which is interesting. At least 20 lawsuits have been filed by states and gaming regulators arguing that prediction markets offer a gambling loophole that should be state regulated. It's like, okay. And so I sit there and I was reading this. I was like, okay, so Congress wants to pass this idea, right? They want to pass this, like, it's not fair. It's a loophole around, sports gambling. It should be based on the states and not based off of just, the regulations from, the countrywide, but more of statewide. It should be state to state regulations and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, that's interesting. Because for as long as I could probably remember, there's been, talks, in loose terms, talks of trying to ban insider trading as Congress, people, as people who have political power, government officials, and to be able to trade stocks and stuff like that. And, we sit here, we talk about pushing legislation on prediction markets like this here, but meanwhile, you get something like this. Volume in stock and oil futures surged minutes before Trump's market-turning post. This was a Monday morning. So if you guys remember, on Saturday, we were, I think it was myself and Ryan were sitting here on our trivia, and he posted about how Trump was giving Iran 48 hours to back down, or else we're going to start hitting their plants. And the markets were going to be super, super bearish Monday morning. They open up red and stuff like that. And you got to see this and how interesting this actually is. S&P futures and oil futures flashed an unusual burst of activity early Monday minutes before a market-moving social media post from President Donald Trump. At around 6:50 a.m. in New York, S&P 500 E-mini futures trading on the CME recorded a sharp and isolated jump in volume, breaking from an otherwise subdued pre-market backdrop. With thin liquidity typically of early trading hours, the sudden burst stood out as one of the largest volume movements of the session up to that point. And take a look at this. Look at this spike right here. You get a volume spike at 6:50, and look at what happens at 7:15. People get the announcement that Trump says, hey, we're starting to have these good talks here, and it was bullish news for the market, and the market had a big rally to it. We get a big spike in the futures contracts for the S&P. And not only that, but you get a big spike in oil. Look at that nice little spike there in oil right there. Look at that before the news comes out, and boom, sells out. So And you don't see these big spikes in pre-market. Take a look. There's not a lot of volume here in pre-market because not everybody trades pre-markets, stuff like that. And there's not a lot of volume here as much as there is intraday. And so seeing this big spike here minutes before the Trump announcement on Truth Social is just super sketchy to me. And it's super sketchy to a lot of us because what do you like? You want to crack down on prediction markets and making sure that it's regulated and it should be based on the states. But meanwhile, you're seeing something like this where you probably have some insider trading happening there as well. So it's like you can't just pick and choose what you want to regulate. You should be regulating everything here. And then that announcement prompted an instant rally in risk assets. S&P futures going up more than 2.5%, and oil dropping 6% following the announcement. And here's the post from the president at 7:05 a.m. and that spike happened at 6:50. And it just further leads to this development of seeing like insider trading, insider knowledge, stuff like that. And then here's another crazy thing. President Trump's net worth has gone up by more than $1 billion since returning to office. $1 billion since returning to office. His net worth is $6.5 billion. So his net worth has gone up probably 20% almost in just the small amount of time he's been in office. And, this article goes on to talk about, his crypto businesses. He wants to pass the crypto legislations. He reportedly earned an estimated $550 million from the sale of crypto tokens through the World Liberty Financial, which is another huge thing as well. We're looking at what else was there? There was lawsuits. Obviously, that was a huge different thing as well. We talk about what else was there here. These are the lawsuits and the appeals here, as you'll see here. The New York Times editorial board wrote in January an investigation which simply found Trump had made about $1.4 billion. He's poured his energy and creativity into the exploitation of the presidency, finding out just how much money corporations and other nations are willing to put into his pockets in hopes of bending the power of the government to the service of their interests. So again, not a little bad little quote there, I feel like. It's pretty much straightforward in that case. Refusal to put his businesses in a blind trust. As all other modern presidents have, his inauguration raised more money than anybody else in the U.S. history, which is absolutely crazy as well. And it's just, 4 days before his inauguration, a firm backed by Abu Dhabi Royal signed a secret deal to buy nearly half of World Liberty Financial, another company run by the Sheikh. Later used $2 billion in currency issued by World Liberty to make one of its investments. It's just all these different things where, to me, it's just, I don't know. It's just, we've known this for a while, but I feel like this is probably one of the more corrupt things I feel like we've probably seen, or at least we can suspect, right? News breaks out, market goes up 1%. He tweets out, oh, we're doing this, market goes down 1%. Like his posts and his tweets are just manipulating this market as much as they possibly can. And that's causing the big problem that we're facing here. Outside of his own financial affairs, his administration has also faced scrutiny of his taxpayer funds, including $172 million purchase of luxury jets for the Department of Homeland Security, and the reported millions the administration spent on new vehicles, with Trump-inspired paint jobs for immigration offers that now reportedly sit unused because agents don't want to advertise their activities so publicly during missions. So using money however you want in this case here. And the most popular person we obviously already know is Nancy Pelosi's net worth and how she trades and stuff like that, and her insider knowledge she has. Look at this tracker here. Look at this. Ever since 2014, Pelosi is up 740%, and the S&P's up 250%. She is almost, 3 times better than the S&P since 2014. Her net worth being $260 million. And look at this big move in net worth. 2016, 93, and now you're up at $260-something million right now. And so this is kind of what frustrates me about this kind of thing here. What's frustrating to me is that you're sitting there and you're having people in Congress who are pushing this legislation of we got to put more strict crackdowns on Polymarket and Kalshi and the prediction markets and make sure it's state regulated and stuff like that. But meanwhile, we're still waiting for legislation to be passed on how not allowing government officials and congressmen and women to trade stocks while they're in office. That hasn't passed though. It's been rumored many, many times to go through, and it has not gone through still. But this right here is now being pushed to the head of the table, it seems like. So it just frustrates me because like that's crazy. Like you're talking about this going on here, but at the same time you're seeing volumes in futures contracts, basically the same thing happening here in the stock market, and nobody bats an eye about it. Nobody looks into this. Nobody looks at who's doing what in this case, and people would be like, oh, it was just a guess. I mean, is that much money was just guessed on? I highly doubt that. So that is just it's interesting, again, as to what they pick and choose. And at the end of the day, it's just one of those things where politics can just be frustrating for me to deal with, which is why I don't talk about politics usually. But I just found it interesting to make a video about this in today's video about how they're pushing for prediction market, regulation and restrictions. But meanwhile, insider trading happening right before Truth Social posts from Donald Trump and the war in Iran. And again, now we have things coming out where Iran was like, we did not agree to a ceasefire. We did not agree to this kind of stuff. And what does the market do? Go down over 1%. Market was down over 1% today again, and it's just, whoever knows the most info is the one who's going to be making the money the most. And that's just the way we're seeing right now. And the fact that this was caught here is very, very good prime information right there for it. People made a big deal about the guy who put in like 400,000 into the invasion of Venezuela when we took the prime minister there. And this is literally the same thing. It's a huge bet that's being taken here, but it's 15 minutes before it happens. That's all I got to say. I don't know. It's crazy, and it's one of those things where, you sit there and you say, as a retail person like myself, the people with the deeper pockets are the ones who are making the most money in these kind of markets. And who's left holding the bag? Retail investors like myself, you guys watching at home, that kind of stuff. So just crazy stuff to think about here. Be on the lookout to see what happens here. If things do end up going through, this is just, proposals right now in this case here. Even though these are just your proposals that you're looking at, think about what's going to happen to, I can pull it up really quick here, about what's going to happen to a stock like DraftKings, right? DraftKings is going to be one of those stocks that's going to benefit very, very well from it. This little spike, because this came out recently. Oh, well, there was a spike. I don't know. Oh, it's back down again, it looks like. Let me see if I can find the spike that this came out with really quick. There definitely was a spike. I'm trying to figure out where it was. I think it's this spike right here that you see from the, the rumored legislation that you have here. Okay. So, if legislation passes and, we get a big, ban, or not even a ban, but a big regulation control onto prediction markets, stocks like DraftKings, I forgot which one owns FanDuel, but there's a stock that owns FanDuel, MGM, like casino stocks, those ones are going to be primed to make some good money here. I would be curious to see what would happen to Robinhood, because Robinhood has a lot of money in prediction markets now, and how much is going to impact that as a stock overall. So I would be careful watching that one as well. Just something to think about here, but that is it for today's video. A frustrating video for me to make because I hate how it's like a pick and choose, like what you want to regulate and what you really care about and all that kind of stuff in between. It's just, let's just do it across the board. Anything and everything. Can't be trading, but whatever. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did make this fun video, feel free, of course, to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications as per usual, and make sure that you check out the Fridge Financials memberships. You want to support the Fridge Financials journey here as we continue to grind for financial freedom every single day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're making money in the market in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through these crazy prediction markets or just through, investing in the long term here. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video.